China's vaping products poisoning American kids. Commentary. The ugly fact behind the vaping-induced health crisis among American youth is that the vast majority of flavored disposable vapes in American kids' pockets comes from China. What's more, the flood of these unauthorized, kid-attractive products, worth up to $2.4 billion in sales in 2024, has been difficult for U.S. regulators to stop. Could the Chinese Communist Party be targeting our children with these highly toxic products? China's history of exporting dangerous or defective products. In fact, China's export of toxic products to the United States isn't new. For at least 2 decades, toxic imports from China, from lead-painted toys to contaminated food supplements, have made consumers and regulators wary. Recalls for Chinese-made lead-painted toys, drugs, and medical supplies are plentiful and ongoing. What's more, many of the disposable vaping devices popular with young people are inexpensive to manufacture and easy to tweak slightly to evade import controls. To make matters worse, earlier waves of massive exports have established logistics and supplier networks that can also facilitate the movement of vaping hardware and related liquids into U.S. markets. Manufacturers and middlemen in China and Hong Kong supply huge volumes to global wholesalers. Many small U.S. retailers purchase these goods through complex shipping routes, which makes enforcement slow and difficult. Recent reports of illegal Chinese-made vapes coming into the United States and large border seizures are just the tip of the iceberg. What's actually in these vapes, and why they're so toxic? E-liquids and the aerosols found in vapes often contain nicotine, volatile organic compounds, aldehydes, heavy metals, and flavor chemicals like diacetyl, a chemical linked to severe lung disease. Also, illicit products contain the marijuana compound THC and vitamin E acetate, the latter of which was a primary cause of the 2019 EVALI outbreak. The myth that vaping is less harmful than smoking cigarettes is just that, a myth and a lie. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the aerosol that young people inhale through vaping isn't harmless water vapor, but rather, is a cocktail of dangerous chemicals. What vaping does to young lungs and brains. Adolescent and young adult brains are still developing. Nicotine exposure can harm attention, learning, and impulse control, according to the CDC. Inhaling chemicals and ultrafine particles from vape aerosol can inflame and damage lung tissue, impair lung development in teenagers and young adults, and increase susceptibility to respiratory illness. How many vaping deaths and hospitalizations have occurred? The 2019 to 2020 EVALI outbreak resulted in about 2,807 reported hospitalizations and 68 confirmed deaths in the United States linked to vaping products. While EVALI cases dropped sharply after 2019 due to public health actions, hospitalizations and serious lung injuries from vaping continue to occur and remain a concern. The scale of the U.S. vaping market. Regarding the size of the American vaping market, estimates vary, especially across market channels. However, industry trackers estimate that the total U.S. e-cigarette sales are in the multi-billion-dollar range. For example, industry authority Circana tracked a roughly $6.8 billion U.S. market in 2024, including authorized products and non-disposable vapes sold in convenience stores. Young people make up a large share of users. Data from the National Center for Health Statistics and CDC show e-cigarette use is highest in the 18 to 24 age bracket, and other surveys find roughly 1 in 5 Americans ages 18 to 29 report using vape products, meaning a large slice of the market is under age 28. Why are these products still sold in the U.S.? There are several reasons. Regulatory complexity. The FDA requires pre-market authorization for e-cigarette products, but the process is slow and historically under-resourced. Meanwhile, unauthorized products flood in through international supply chains and online sales. Illicit supply chains. Many flavored disposables and counterfeit products are produced overseas and shipped through intermediaries that confuse ports and customs enforcement. Recent federal task forces and seizures show the scale of the problem. Industry resistance and political factors. The e-cigarette and tobacco industries have lobbied against broad flavor bans or rapid restrictions, arguing adult smokers need options and warning of black markets. Some state and local governments have been slow or divided on bans. What's being done now to stop the flow and protect kids? Congressional leaders such as Representative Raja Krishnamurti have been vocal opponents of youth vaping, holding hearings and introducing bills to curb flavored products and limit nicotine content. In recent years, federal agencies have stepped up. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration and Customs and Border Protection have seized millions of unauthorized units. The Department of Justice, the FDA, and the Department of Health and Human Services have created task forces to target illegal imports and distributors. Congress has debated stricter rules, and public health campaigns are trying to reduce youth use. Enforcement has increased, but the market adapts fast. Bottom line: cheap, flavored disposable vapes, many produced, packaged, or routed through China, helped fuel a youth vaping spike and continue to pose a public health risk. The toxicology is clear: vaping exposes lungs and developing brains to harmful chemicals. Enforcement and regulation are intensifying, but the flow of unauthorized products and the political/economic forces around nicotine products make this a complicated fight. If the goal is to protect kids, the playbook needs all three elements: smarter border enforcement, faster FDA action on unauthorized products, and durable laws or local policies that cut off the demand and supply that target young people.